Ludwig van Beethoven. He was one of the greatest composers in history. His exact date of birth is unknown, while his baptism was recorded on the 17th of December, 1770, in Bonn, a city that was part of the Holy Roman Empire at the time. His life was full of challenges, but he became a symbol of strength and creativity. Even though he went deaf, he kept making music that still inspires people today. Beethoven came from a musical family. His grandfather was a well-known musician, and his father was a singer who worked for the local church. Of the 7 children born to Johann van Beethoven, only Ludwig, the second born, and 2 younger brothers survived infancy. His father saw that Ludwig had talent early on and pushed him hard to become a great musician. He wanted Ludwig to be like Mozart, another famous child prodigy. By the age of 7, Beethoven was already playing music in public, but his childhood was tough because his father was very strict. As Beethoven got older, he learned from other musicians, like Christian Gottlob Neff, who taught him about the works of Bach and others. When he was just 12, Beethoven published his first piece of music, a set of variations for the piano. This early training helped him grow into the amazing composer he became. Due to Ludwig's father's irresponsible nature and increasing struggles with alcoholism, Beethoven, still quite young, had to take on significant responsibility for his 2 younger brothers, Caspar and Nikolaus Johann. In 1787, Beethoven visited Vienna, the center of music in Europe, hoping to study with Mozart. It's not clear if they met, but Beethoven soon had to return home because his mother was ill. She passed away that year, and shortly after, in November, his brother, Caspar, also died. This double loss placed a heavy burden on the young Beethoven. Caspar signed a declaration appointing Ludwig guardian of his son named Karl. This period placed considerable financial and emotional strain on Beethoven. The big change in Beethoven's life came in 1792 when he moved to Vienna. There, he studied with Joseph Haydn and other famous teachers. Vienna was also where rich nobles supported him, giving him the chance to focus on composing and performing. He quickly became known as a brilliant pianist, especially for his ability to make up music on the spot. At first, Beethoven's music sounded a lot like the works of Haydn and Mozart, but soon, he started creating his own style, using bold sounds and strong emotions. Pieces like his Pathetique Sonata and Eroica Symphony showed how different and exciting his music could be. These works helped start a new era in music called the Romantic period. Sadly, Beethoven began losing his hearing in his late 20s. No one knows exactly why, but it was a huge blow for someone whose life was all about sound. At first, he tried to hide it, but by 1802, he was so upset that he wrote a letter called the Heiligenstadt Testament to his brother. In it, he talked about how much pain he felt, and even thought about ending his life. But he decided to keep going, because he loved music too much. This decision led to some of his best work. Even though he couldn't hear, Beethoven kept composing. During this time, he wrote some of his most famous pieces, like the Fifth Symphony, which starts with those 4 famous notes everyone knows. He also wrote the Sixth Symphony, which is about nature, and the Third Symphony, originally meant to honor Napoleon, until Beethoven changed his mind. These works showed how powerful and emotional music could be. Later in life, Beethoven became more isolated because of his deafness and health problems. Still, he kept writing music, including deeply personal pieces like his late string quartets and the Ninth Symphony. The Ninth Symphony is especially famous because it includes singers and a choir singing Ode to Joy, a poem about peace and unity. Amazingly, Beethoven conducted this symphony even though he couldn't hear it. When it ended, the audience clapped wildly, and he had to be turned around to see their reaction. Besides symphonies, Beethoven wrote many other kinds of music, like piano sonatas, chamber music, and an opera called Fidelio. The opera is about freedom and justice, topics Beethoven cared about deeply. His later string quartets are considered some of the most complex and beautiful music ever written. Beethoven never married, though he fell in love with several women. In the famous letter unsent and discovered after his death, he called his love immortal beloved. However, no one knows who was the woman. Over the years, several women have been proposed as candidates, each with varying degrees of evidence to support their case. Anthony Brentano, Josephine Brunswick, Therese Brunswick, Giulietta Guicciardi. Beethoven died on the 26th of March, 1827, at the age of 56. 20,000 people attended his funeral in Vienna, showing how much he meant to the world. Today, Beethoven is remembered not just for his music, but for his courage and determination. His story proves that even when life is hard, you can still create something beautiful that lasts forever. His music continues to touch hearts and bring people together, reminding us of the power of art to overcome anything. Thank you for watching.